Is faith a gift or is it not a gift? If it is a gift, then it's something that God gives to people and he can decide who has it, right? He would give it faith to some people and that person could be saved. He could not give it to somebody else and that person could not be saved. So this is something that I want to look at today because this is the second in my playlist that I'm trying to make of why I am not a Calvinist. I just want to look at some of these passages that we have that we might talk about, we might debate a little bit, and just answer the question why I am not a Calvinist. Maybe you are a Calvinist. Maybe you believe that God chooses who will be saved and who will not be saved. That's fine. That's okay. I just want to look at some of these other passages and debate them a little bit and look at least an alternative way of looking at them where they don't have to describe the idea of Calvinism. And so we're going to be looking today at Ephesians chapter 2. In the last video, we looked at verses 1 to 7 in that chapter. If you haven't yet seen them, I want to encourage you to stop this one for now, go back and watch verses 1 to 7, that video, and I'll put a link in this description for you, and then come back and watch this one because it'll help make a little bit more sense, I think. So if faith is a gift, then there would be a lot more evidence that the idea of Calvinism would be true. But I don't think that faith is a gift. I think that faith is a response. And I want to explain a little bit of that here in Ephesians chapter 2. Like I said last time, we talked about verses 1 to 7. Well, today I want to look at verses 8 and 9. And this is what it says. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. And so our question that we have there is, what is the gift of God? Because as we read that at first, it almost looks like faith is a gift. So I want to put this verse under a little more scrutiny and just try to understand, is faith a gift that God gives to some people and doesn't give it to other people or not? So let's try to look at this a little bit. I'm going to show you this slide here. This is verse 8 broke down a little bit. It says, for by grace you have been saved through faith. But what we really want to look at is the next part of the verse where it says, that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. What do the words that and it refer back to? Do they refer back to grace or do they refer back to faith? If they refer back to faith, then it would be saying that faith is not of yourselves and faith is the gift of God. Is that what this verse says or not? The first thing that I want to point out here is that the word it is not even in the original languages. Okay, it's put in there. Many words are put into the English Bibles to help facilitate the language because you can't just interpret or you can't just translate from one language directly into another word for word. It's just not possible most of the time. And so word it was put in there. So it's not even the original languages. This is technically how it would read. It would read, and that not of yourselves, of God, the gift. That's technically what it says. And so we can't really look too closely at the word it, but we want to look at the word that not of yourselves. What is not of yourselves? Is it faith? What is it? Well, this word that in the Greek language in which this was originally written is a neuter word. And we don't have neuter masculine, feminine words in English like they did in Greek, but it is a neuter word. And the words grace and faith in that verse are feminine words. So that does not describe grace or faith. What does it describe? What I think it describes is this whole process talked about here in the first part of the verse. For by grace you have been saved through faith. It's not grace necessarily, though in a broader context, I guess it would be. And it's not specifically talking about faith. It's talking about this whole process of salvation. For by grace, you have been saved through faith. That is the plan of salvation. The gift of God, I believe that the end of verse 8 is talking about here is the plan of salvation. It is the gospel of Jesus Christ, the good news. But there's a couple other points I want to make about this. That's pretty simple, I think, to look at it. But we need to talk about this idea of grace and faith just a little bit more. Grace is what allows salvation to be possible for us. Salvation is available to us through God's grace. Grace is giving us something that we absolutely do not deserve, and we don't deserve grace. Many times, people refer to the teaching of Calvinism as the doctrines of grace. Well, I think that grace goes far beyond Calvinism, because if you choose some who will be saved and some who not to be saved, that doesn't sound a whole lot like grace to me. For sure, not on the ones who weren't chosen to be saved. But I think God's grace is such that he offers it to anyone who will receive, to anyone who will respond to him. And that's what grace is like. For example, and by the way, we all agree that none of us can be saved on our own. Calvinists and non-Calvinists agree. We all know we cannot do anything to earn salvation. The question that we have is faith a work or not? I don't believe it is. Calvinists generally would believe that it is, and that's going to be a major difference right there. But let's just say that salvation was something that God came and he said, look, I have the gospel for you. I have good news. Good news and gospel mean the same thing. I have good news for you. I have gospel for you. You can be saved. You can have your sins forgiven. You can have a home in heaven. You can have hope when you die. It's going to be wonderful. And you say, what do I have to do to get it? And God says, there's one little thing you have to do. The only thing you have to do is be perfect. Because that's what salvation would require from us. If we could do anything to help our salvation, we would have to be absolutely perfect, because even one sin will destroy it for us. Calvinists and non-Calvinists agree on that point, I believe. We cannot earn it. It is the gift of God. It is the grace of God. It is an exciting thing because we can't earn it, so God freely gives it to us. See, let's say, for example, that I was looking at a house brochure. I love to look at house brochures. I love to look at houses and buy them. It's just kind of fun. I like, to watch HGTV and watch the people buying houses. It's just exciting to me. So let's say I'm looking at this brochure here, and it's got a picture of a big, beautiful house. I mean, this thing has got like 8 bedrooms, and it's got 10 bathrooms. And it's got a beautiful rec room. It's got like a glorious 3 or 4 car garage. I mean, this is awesome. 40 acres of just beautiful territory, woods for hunting, place for a garden. I mean, it's just beautiful, secluded. It's an awesome place. And at the top of the brochure, it says, this can be yours. Now, I'm excited, right? Because this can be mine, man. This is like my dream house. This is the place that I want. But then I look at the bottom and it says, this can be yours for the small cost of $1.2 million. Suddenly, I go from being excited because this place can be mine to being devastated because this place cannot be mine. Because I cannot do what is required to get this place. I want this house. I would love to have this house. I'm so glad that this realtor in his grace is offering this house, but I cannot do what will get me this house because I cannot come up with $1.2 million. It's just not possible. And that's like God offering salvation, saying you can be saved, you can be forgiven, but you know what? You got to earn it. You have to do something. It ceases to be gospel. It ceases to be good news, and it becomes a work. We cannot earn our salvation. And Calvinists and non-Calvinists agree on that. We cannot earn it. There's nothing that we can do to earn our own salvation. It is given to us by God's grace. But the question that we have is faith. Now, I like to look at it this way. Grace is available, or salvation is available to us through grace, but it is applied to us through faith. Now, the issue of faith is where we go round and round a little bit, because I don't believe that faith is a work. I believe it is just a response, which isn't a work. And sometimes we look at faith, we look at it all wrong in our society. We look at it as a system of works, right? Some people say, well, I'm practicing my faith, and I practice my faith by going to church. I practice my faith by giving money. I practice my faith by being a good husband or wife or whatever it is, right? I'm practicing my faith. Well, I think we need to look at what faith means. Faith, we could translate it as trust, which I like to use because we haven't destroyed the word trust as much as we have the word faith. So faith is trust. Faith is looking at something and saying, I will depend on that thing. I like to look at this definition. This is the definition I like to use for faith. Faith is trust in an object that has proved reliable. Faith is trust in an object that has proved reliable. God has proved reliable. Jesus has proved reliable. And he offers us this gift of salvation. And faith is just saying, I'll take that. I trust what you're saying is true. And I trust I cannot get there on my own. I will just simply respond. It is not a work. It is a response. Okay, thank you for offering this gift to me. I will take it. And that is why the gospel of salvation is good news for us. That's why it's not bad news. That's why we can call it the gospel, because God gives us salvation. All we have to do is accept it. Thanks for watching this with me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I want to encourage you to do it. Let me know in the comments what you think, and stay tuned and we'll talk more about why I am not a Calvinist, because on this channel, what I want to do is understand what we believe, why we believe it, and how it affects our lives. So God bless you, and I'll see you next time.